So today we're going to be multiplying complex numbers. All right, first thing that we need to realize is that I squared is -1. Okay, that's going to be our big thing that we need to know right here. And the more and more you do this, the better it will kind of get. All right, in here we have -4i cubed, which is basically, -4i times -4i times -4i. All right. This is when I would actually get the calculator and do this. I would actually raise -4 to the third power. All right. That will give me -64. All right, good. I've got the number part. Now let's deal with these i's. Okay. Well, that's I times I times I. This is, I to the third, or I squared times I to the first. Okay. Now, I squared is -1, so this just becomes -I. So when we put these two back together, a negative times a negative is a positive 64i. All right. Moving on to number 2, we're just going to just whittle it down. Okay. We're going to have I times 2i. So this gives me 2i squared. And I'm just dealing with this part right now. Okay. Well, I squared, -1. Whoop, this gives me -2. All right. So now I have -2 times -7i. Well, I'll just multiply the numbers. -2 times -7 ends up being 14, and it's positive, and you just tag along the I. All right. Step through it. Go through the steps. All right. This one you would distribute. Okay. So we end up, let's see, this is going to be 3 times -2, so we get -6i right here. All right, mark that out. Plus 3 times 6 is 18, and then I squared. Well, -6i plus 18. All right, I squared we know is -1. So this is -6i minus 18. Excuse me. Now, we can't leave it like this. This is what we actually need to do right here. Okay, the real number goes first, the I goes in the back. Don't know why, it just does. All right, not going to do number 4 because that is basically like number 1, just with a different number. Okay, and y'all can practice. These are, just some small things to work on. Because, and I'm not going to go over this. You can do that. These are very simple. We've got to get it to the main part of today. All right. So, yet again, this comes back. We have binomials. Some people do FOIL, some people do double distributive, box method. For students I've had before, we do double distributive or box method. It works out for them. You can choose either or. Choose what works for you. I'm going to do number 7 as a double distributive and number 8 as a box method. Okay, go away, you. All right. Now, for double distributive, we're going to cut this right here. So this is going to be -3 times -5 plus 7i. So it's this term times everything back here, and then we got plus 5i times all this again. All right, so we just distribute. So -3 times -5 is 15. All right, this is -21i. All right, that one's done. So we have 5 times -5, so we have -25i. And then 5i times 7i. This gives us plus 35i squared. All right, so let's start cleaning this up just a little bit. Extend the page, hopefully. There we go. All right, so we can combine these two because they're like terms. All right, so this gives us -46i. All right, and this is 35. Now, I squared is -1. So this is 15 minus 46 minus 35. So we can only combine these two. So this is going to give us -20 goes first, and then minus 46i. All right, not too awful bad. It's just, going through the steps. And with being virtual, there's tons of online calculators for this. I know people use Photomath. Heck, I think I was doing it the other day when I got in a pinch to try to get keys for stuff. And, Photomath, it can be good, can be bad. It can show you steps, but it may not show you exactly how things that your teacher has taught you, especially me. Okay. But, there's different things. All right. Number 8, we're going to do with the box method here. For some odd reason, I like taking these first 2 terms and putting on my vertical. So 5, and then was that a minus? Yep, minus 3i. And then the last one I like putting on the horizontal. So, you set it up and you multiply right here. It's really, you're going to get the same thing. A lot of people like the box method because you can see it, you can handle it better. So we have negative 40. This is 25i. This is 24, and these are positive. I'll put that down. And this is negative times positive, so this is a negative 15 squared. All right, so when we pull out our terms here and change colors, negative 40 plus 25i is 24i minus 15i squared. Basically, if you did both methods, right here is where you get back on track and everybody does the same thing. So negative 40, this plus 49 minus 15 times negative 1. All right. So, because I squared is negative 1, and we just kind of keep going. This is going to, yep, it's going to jump. So now we're going to have negative 40 plus 49, okay, plus 15. So when we clean this up for our final answer, I'm going to go ahead and put the 49i in the back because I know that. We can combine this. Well, shucks, I can't do that in my head. I'm a horrible person, especially as a math teacher, not do that in my head. Okay, I get negative 25. Yep. Okay. So it's a review of stuff that you've done in Algebra 1. Now, the big thing is on this is that we're just dealing with these I things, and that I squared is negative 1. That's really it. That's the whole business of this, is that you have the I squareds now, and I mean that's it. All right, so you can set these up either way that you want to. I'm just going to jump right into the actual part where they meet together. We're going to have negative 15 minus 35i, and this is negative 15i minus 35i squared. Now, some people that I've taught before, they can go ahead and say that, this is negative 35 times negative 1. They change it. Some people have to do the steps. It's okay for either way. Just pick your method that you like, work your method. Okay, plan your work and work your plan. All right. I don't know why I can add that. I couldn't do the subtraction in my head. 50i. Okay. Now, if we kind of go with this right here, we know that this is going to be a positive 35. So 35 minus 15, this gives us 20 minus 50i. Believe it or not, the actual math part of this does not take all that long. It's the setting up. But if you take your time to set it up correctly and you get the right answer, by all means do it. Okay. I know I make this look easy, and it's kind of my job. I'm a math teacher. Okay. All right, so we're going to have 42 after you do whatever. Okay, plus 42i. It's going to be plus 24i plus 24 squared. Wow, if that's not confusing, I don't know what is. It kind of looks the same because these two are very similar. That's just the way it works out. Okay, so 42 and 24, this looks like to be 66i. All right, we know that I squared is -1, and this is a positive 24, so this ends up being a negative 24. So when I write this out, and I'm sorry I keep going over my face to make it fade out, though some of y'all probably enjoy that. All right, so I know I'm going to have 66i. It's going to be positive. And 42, this might be 18, but I'm going to just double check. Oh, I was right. It's positive. Okay, yes, I didn't set these two up because I can't set them up for everybody. I would have to do 50,000 different videos. Choose your method. Okay. Now, the big thing about this is, again, it's setting them up. Please understand that this, when you're squaring this actually means this whole thing times this whole thing. All right. And you can set those up and solve them. And again, with number 12, is that it's -3 plus 7i times -3 plus 7i. Okay. So set them. That's the first step, is to set them up. I know it seems crazy to say, hey, this is a new thing. You know, it's not really a new thing. All right. Now, I do kind of want to work this out because I don't want you to kind of see it and be overwhelmed. Start small. Start left to right. Okay. So we're going to have -5i. And then after that, it just basically turns into a big distributive property. Well, if I could write the right numbers. So this is going to be 20i minus 30i squared. That's a 6 right there, by the way. BT dubs, TBH. There we go. And we know this is going to, this right here, that's, you know, -30 times -1. So we end up with 30 plus 20i. Okay, what looks gross and scary is really not. Just, you know, take your time and things like that. All right, this is the same thing. Only difference with this is when you multiply here, you're going to get 6i squared, which becomes, you know, 6 times -1, which is -6. And then you just have to just plug this back in, or just tag this along, so we get -24 minus 36i. All right. They look different, but they're actually, these I think are a lot easier than the binomials. Okay, I could be wrong. And then, all right, so we got 42i squared, which is 42 times -1, which is -42. Now, you're going to end up getting some kind of big whopping numbers on this. And I love it when somebody says, I think I got it wrong because I got a big number. I'm scared of big numbers. And right afterwards, the student wants to be a billionaire. All right. This, I'm definitely going to use my calculator because, I mean, I couldn't even subtract a while ago. Might as well just go ahead and do this. And I will thoroughly encourage you to use your calculator. I know on the homework assessment stuff in Schoology, I give you, you know, believe it or not, there is a calculator in there for you to use. You just have to click on it if you don't have your own. And if your teacher isn't doing that for you, if you're another student and you're watching these videos, I'm so sorry. So, I mean, that's basically it. Main thing is I squared is -1. All right, so good stuff. Roll Tide.